After Saturday night, the Carolina Hurricanes survive to force Game 5.
You're Locked On Hurricanes, your daily podcast on the Carolina Hurricanes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to a very special episode of Locked On Hurricanes, your team every day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you to the everydayer for making this your first listen of the day. 5 days a week, maybe more. Monday through Friday, and even including the weekends, and that includes everything talking about your Carolina Hurricanes. I am your host, Zach Martin. I am the Carolina Hurricanes beat writer over at the Hockey Writers. I also cover the AHL over at the Calder Times, and I am also the co-host of the Surgecast, which is a weekly Carolina Hurricanes podcast, along with all of my duties over here at Locked On Hurricanes. I'm so excited to bring everyone a special edition survival episode of Locked On Hurricanes. We're going to talk about the Game 4 and the reactions from that, what stood out from the game, and everything else involved or surrounding that miraculous Game 4 that forced a Game 5 for the Carolina Hurricanes. Also going to talk about the Canes player of the game, and finally going to wrap up the show with some fan reactions and questions. Just wanted to get some, feedback from the fans, especially after a huge win for the Carolina Hurricanes. But before we jump into this very special edition of the episode, today's episode is brought to you by Indeed. There is no I in team, but there is one in Indeed. And that's the hiring platform you need to build yours. Start hiring now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. And like I said, to start off the show, we are going to have a very fun episode, talking about just Game 4 overall, just get some reactions from that and all that good stuff. And like I said, going to also talk about Canes player of the game and the fan reactions and questions. And, honestly, starting right off the rip, going to talk about the Carolina Hurricanes and just what we saw in a huge game. Backs against the wall. The Hurricanes need to survive to keep their playoff, quest alive to go for Lord Stanley's Cup. Down 3-0 in the series against the New York Rangers. Got the unfortunate overtime loss on Thursday. Coming into this game, power play 0 for 15. Just trying to find any way and any reason to keep the series alive and do what they can to turn some fortunes around on special teams and stuff like that. And the one thing that really stood out from this game is that we finally got a power play goal from the Carolina Hurricanes on their 17th try of the series. And it was a huge game-winning goal on the power play from none other than Brady Skeji, former New York Ranger. Coming really 16:49 into the third period, a fantastic blast from the point. The assist from Teuvo Teravainen, which was his second of the game, and Andrei Svechnikov for his 7th of the playoffs. And honestly, you got to give the credit to Seth Jarvis for the great screen on Igor Shesterkin, who got to give a lot of credit to Shesterkin. He played really well for the Rangers, after giving up that third goal in the first period, kind of just shut the Hurricanes down for the most part until that third period, until the Brady Shea power play goal. So, like I said, got to give credit to where credit's due for Igor Shesterkin. But the Hurricanes finally got the monkey off their back, finally got the power play goal that they really needed, and it was very, very clutch. If you're looking for any reason to have a power play goal that, might turn the tides, that was the one to have, and you love to see it from a former Ranger in Brady Shea, able to get the job done. That was his first goal of the playoffs, which is crazy to think for the fact of the season he had during the regular season, that this, it took until, Game 4 of, the second round against the Rangers and ninth game of the playoffs overall for Brady Shea to get one. But if you're asking for a clutch goal from Brady for his first, this is the one to have it. And it forces Game 5 going back to New York on Monday night, which, and I've said it today on social media and Twitter and stuff like that. It's all about going 1-0. Rod Brind'amour said it. The players have said it. It's all about going 1-0 on the day. Just take one day at a time, one game at a time. So now there's your one. You're 1-0 on Saturday night. Now you go on Monday and go 1-0 again. And I know a lot of people are going to say, hey, it's, only 4 teams have ever done it to come back from 3-0 down. The last team to do it was the LA Kings back when they won the Cup in 2014. And yeah, it's a very slim chance. Less than 2% of all teams in, the 100+ years of the National Hockey League have come back from it. So I'm not going to sit here and, say, oh, it's going to happen and stuff like that. But, you just take one game at a time and you see what happens. And there's the one. You just got to keep building on top of that. And like I said, got to give the credit to the Rangers, man. They just stayed in it, battled back, tied the game. Alexis Lafreniere, he's, I think this is his 3rd straight game with a goal. So, I mean, if you're talking about any guy who's kind of turned a narrative around for himself on another team, yeah, gotta give credit to Laff. But in terms of the Hurricanes, I mean, Evgeny Kuznetsov busting out the Eagle cellar really early, 151 into the game, gets the Hurricanes up 1-0. Not even 5 minutes later, Steph Nason, and I've said it all rounds, this whole round, net front presence, because the Hurricanes need to do a net front presence on the New York Rangers. Because if you get on the inside, good things can happen. You just got to stay off the perimeter, because every team will love to have you play on the perimeter. And the one thing that the Hurricanes were good at is going for in the interior, getting near the crease, and goals. If you do that, goals will happen. And you saw that with Steph Nason. Comes in right off the bench, crashes the net, picks with the rebound, and puts it past to Sturkin for his 4th of the playoffs. And, that was Teuvo Teravainen's first primary. That was his first of 2 primary assists on the night. And it's one of those things where you put pucks on net and you get the guy on the net front, good things happen. Like I said, you look back at the Brady Skeji goal. What happened? Seth Jarvis, net front presence, screened Shesterkin, blocked his eyes. And that, the TNT panel kept saying, you got to get in front of Igor Shesterkin. You got to start blocking his eyesight. And Seth Jarvis did it, and that's how Brady Skeji got his goal. So you look at Steph Nason, guy got his goal right off a rebound right in front of the crease, and that's how you get those type of playoff goals. Because you saw it, in Terry Panarin in Game 3 in overtime. Put himself in a good spot right in front of the crease, was able to deflect the shot in, and that's how the Rangers won in overtime to make the series 3-0. And that's what the Hurricanes did in this game. Like I said, Steph Nason goal. There you go. You're up 2-0 at that point. Later, you get the game winner off a screened, shot from Seth Jarvis that Brady Skeji scored on. Rangers kind of, going back to the first period, Will Cooley gets his, first of the playoffs. Good for him. You kind of got an instant reaction back from the Rangers, and then luckily Sebastian Aho, first third of the playoffs, scores 15-29 in, and you go in, you off a great pass by Jake Gensel. That is the reason why you get Jake Gensel at the trade deadline, for perfect passes like that. Was able to have some of the Rangers puck, just puck watch, found Aho in a good spot where he can just blast it home, and that's what he did. He got past Shesterkin, makes it 3-1, going in the first intermission. The only goal that happened in the second was Barclay Goodrow. Got to give him credit too. It's just one of those things, man. Rangers capitalized on opportunities when they had it. And then Alexis Lafreniere, kicked off the third period, banking the puck off of Frederick Anderson, ties it up. And like I said, you finish off with a Jordan Stahl goal, a Brady Skeji goal, later on for the power play. You take that any day of the week. And now you see the Hurricanes win 4-3. You win in regulation, no overtime. Get your first win of the series, and now you're taking it back to New York on Monday. And, just one game at a time, one day at a time, and that's all you can really do, and just go on from there. And if you look at the Sebastian Aho goal, that I found really interesting, the fact that it was from NHL Public Relations saying with the fact that with Sebastian Aho scoring to help keep the Canes and get them a 2-goal lead in the third, back in the first period. He collected his 10th point of the 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs, which is third goal, 7 assists, and 10 points in 9 games. That gives him the most consecutive playoffs with 10 or more points in AHL history, which is now 6. From 2019 to 2024, he now has 6 straight playoffs with 10 or more points. That ties him with Mikko Rantanen in the same calendar, the same time span. Glenn Anderson back from 1983 to 1988. Yari Curry in 83-88 as well, and then Mike Bossy in 1980 through 1985. He's only behind Pierre Forsberg and Brad Marchand, who both have 7. Bernie Geoffrion with 8, and that was back from 1953 to 1960. And then Mark Messier through 83 to 92 with 10, and then Wayne Gretzky 81 through 91. So some elite company for Sebastian Aho, being able to put himself in a spot where he can do those things and make things happen for the Hurricanes. So congratulations to Aho, 6 straight playoffs with 10 or more points. You'd love to see it from him. So from some post-game comments, from Rod Brind'amour, and this was from Chip Alexander, Brind'amour talking about the 4th game might have been the team's least effective of the series, saying he thought the Rangers played well, but he also did say, you live to play another day, and that's the most important thing. And in terms of moving forward in the series, Rod Brind'amour did say we have to be better, but we have a lot of belief in that room. And it's the fact that the Hurricanes won it the way they did. They fought really hard, battled, and were able to, win a game that, from what Rod Brind'amour saw it was okay. It was an okay game, but you still got it done. And that's all that really matters. And they don't ask. It's one of those things where, you had your foot on the gas in the first period. You're up 3-1. You kind of let them back 3-2 in the second period. And then early on in the third, you let them tie it up, and then you're basically battling the rest of the game. Kind of, you're on your back foot for most of it, and then luckily the power play came up clutch when it did, and that's what you really It helps to have a moment like that where you're like, okay, here you go, here's your clutch moment, here's the power play goal you've been looking for all series. It took you 17 tries, but you finally got it done. And for your head coach to be like, yeah, they played good, but wasn't the most effective, but they still got the job done. And, it's not trying to ride the high too high. It's going, okay, we won one, wasn't the greatest, but you build on that and you keep forging on. And I think this is kind of like hopefully a projection point for the Hurricanes to kind of be like, okay, it's still 3-1. You're still now facing an elimination game for the next 2 just to try to force Game 7, but you don't look at Game 6. Now you look at Game 5 on Monday, and you build off from that. And in terms of anything going on for Sunday, the Hurricanes will not practice on Sunday, according to Hurricanes PR, but there will be players in Rod Brind'amour who will be available to the media at PNC Arena, and that will be around 10:45 in the afternoon. So when you are hearing this, this will be coming out in the morning on Sunday. Practice, there will be no practice, but there will be a media availability at 12:45 p.m. from Rod Brind'amour and certain players. But overall, just like, wow. Very tense game. I know a lot of Hurricanes fans were, definitely feeling it throughout most of the game. And, like I said, no quitting the Hurricanes, but also, gotta give credit to the Rangers too, man. It's one of those things where, you see why they're the President's Trophy winners, but the Hurricanes, got a huge lead, the Rangers came back, but the Hurricanes didn't quit. And now you see them getting that power play goal they needed. And now we get Game 5 on Monday. So we're really excited for that. And, it's one of those things where you ride the high for the next, couple hours. You kind of regroup on Sunday and get ready to go on Monday for Game 5 back in New York. So talking about, whatever the reaction of the game and stuff like that. Now, we're going to definitely want to talk about a Canes player of the game. And we'll get to that here in a second on a very special survival episode of Locked On Hurricanes. Policy Genius is the country's leading online insurance marketplace. It saves you time and money so you can provide your family with financial safety net starting today. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for a $1 million worth of coverage. Some options offer same-day approval and avoid unnecessary medical exams. And the one thing for me, the good thing about having life insurance is the fact that it gives you more peace of mind and you feel covered when you have it. And with Policy Genius, it helps you compare your options from top companies, and their team of licensed experts is on hand to help you talk you through it. Talk to a team of award-winning agents who will walk you through the process step by step and easily acquire and compare quotes from America's top insurers in just a few clicks to find your lowest price. Policy Genius gives you unbiased advice from a licensed expert support team. They also have no incentive to recommend one insurer over the other, so you can trust their guidance. Thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot from customers who found the best fit for their needs with Policy Genius. Check life insurance off your to-do list in no time with Policy Genius. Head to policygenius.com/lockedonNHL or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com/lockedonNHL. Welcome back to segment 2 of Locked On Hurricanes, your team every day. So, going to talk about the Canes player of the game. I know there's a lot of options people can say with, Evgeny Kuznetsov and his, goal to kick off the game. Sebastian Aho scoring as well. You could also say Steph Nason, his net front presence goal. I think we're going to go with probably the most easiest one that I believe is the player of the game. I know a lot of other people might, agree with it, or you might throw some other names as well. For me, it's Brady Skeji. Game-winning goal. It's the one that you really needed the most. It was his first in the playoffs, and you could not ask for a more clutch moment from him. 17th try in the series. That's the Hurricanes finally get their power play goal, and the way he does it too, very late, ends up being the game winner. And just overall, that, and the great part is too, that was his only shot of the game in 18 minutes and 10 seconds. So Brady Skeji was 1 for 1 shot, 1 goal, and it really mattered the most. And he was even the first star of the game. What more could you really ask out of Brady Skeji for the fact that he was able to do that, where he just comes in and makes the clutch moment when it mattered most. And now you see him with, the game winner on a power play, 1 shot, 1 goal, and he ends up being the first star of the game. You could also say Sebastian Aho too. He was the second star of the game, and Steph Nason was the third star of the game for the Carolina Hurricanes. But like I said, for me, you could easily give it to Brady Skeji just because it was a game winner and stuff like that. Teuvo Teravainen had a sneaky 2-point night. 2 points, both of them were assisted, or both primaries for the Hurricanes. Brent Burns had an assist. Andrei Svechnikov, Jake Gensel, of course, as well. And then D'Angelo got an assist, and Evgeny Kuznetsov got a goal. I would say, if you want to give, like I said, Sebastian Aho, he did score a goal. He was the second star of the game, and Steph Nason was the third star. And his was a very clutch, a net front presence goal that you needed. It was a rebound goal. We've been, like I said, I've talked about it. Other people have talked about it too. The Hurricanes needed some net front, and there's your net front with that Steph Nason goal, which was really huge. And maybe Jake Gensel. Like I said, you could go with Teuvo Teravainen. You really can't go wrong with that. He got 2 assists. He's got 2 assists in the game. He only had 1 shot in 18 minutes and 31 seconds. I mean, like I said, Jake Gensel would be a good option too. Jake Gensel had 6 shots he led the entire team with 6 shots. So, there's a lot of guys you can look at for who your the Canes player of the game is. And let me know in the comments below if you're on the YouTube side of things. In the comments, let me know who you think your Canes player of the game is. There's a lot of great options, that I've, talked about. And if there's someone else that I haven't mentioned that you think had a really great game as well, make sure to drop it in the comment section. But for me, if you ask me who I think that guy was for the Hurricanes in this one, it's Brady Skeji. clutch moment in the clutch situation where you get your first power play goal of the series after, on your 17th attempt, one shot, and you took care of business, and the one that you needed was the game winner. And now you force Game 5 back in New York on Monday. So that we're up with the Canes player of the game section of the show. Here in a second, we are going to get some fan reactions from the game as well, as long as there are questions here on a survival episode of Locked On Hurricanes. There is no I in team, but there is one in Indeed, and that's the hiring platform you need to build yours. When you're hiring, you need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites searching for candidates with the right skills, Indeed's a powerful hiring platform that can help you do it all. They streamline hiring with powerful tools to find you match candidates. With Instant Match, over 8% of employers get quality candidates whose resume on their Indeed matches their job description the moment they sponsor a job, according to Indeed Data US. One thing I love about Indeed is the fact that it makes hiring all in one place so easy because Indeed does the hard work for you. Indeed shows you candidates whose resumes on Indeed fits your description immediately after you post so you can hire faster. And also, Indeed's hiring platform matches you with quality candidates instantly. Even better, Indeed's the only job site where you can only pay for applicants that meet your must-have requirements. Join more than 3 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Start hiring now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/lockedon. Offer good for a limited time. Claim your $75 credit now at Indeed.com/lockedon. Once again, that is Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Welcome back to a segment 3 of Locked On Hurricanes, your team every day. And like I said, at the end of segment 2, we are going into some fan reactions and questions from the Caniacs on Twitter. Getting everyone's thoughts from Game 4 and answering any questions they have, to see, from, what they want to know about from the game, or what we could be potentially be looking at for Game 5 on Monday. This one is from Rab Keith. He says it's not over until it's over. Yeah, I mean, short and sweet to the point. Yeah, it's not over. This is a 7-game series for a reason. You gotta get 4 to win. You gotta win 4 to win a series. And right now, the Rangers haven't hit 4 yet, so series isn't done yet. I know it's a steep hill to climb to come back from down 3-0. Only less than 2% have done it. It's only happened 4 times in over 100 years in the NHL, but it's never impossible, and it's never zero until you get that 4th game where your season is over. But right now, Rangers haven't hit 4 yet, and the Hurricanes live on for another day. This is from BFG Boom, or To the Beach X on X as well. It's a simple rule. Score 4 goals on Shesterkin or go home, and maybe score a power play or 2. Yeah, it's definitely a simple rule. Score more than the other team, and they did against Shesterkin, and the fact that he did score in the power play. So you'll take it. I mean, what more can you ask for? You outscored the Rangers. You fought with them the whole game and stuff like that, and now you survive, you move on, and now there is a Game 5 on Monday, which should be very, very exciting. It's gonna be an MSG. That place is gonna be rocking for those guys because they want to try to end on home ice, and for the Hurricanes, it's just another day to go 1-0 and force Game 6 back in Carolina. So Monday's game should be very, very interesting. This is from ZL29. Don't let us win Game 4, and that's going back to the Red Sox-Yankees series back when the Red Sox finally won their first World Series in a very, very long time. And yeah, don't let us win Game 4. Hurricanes won Game 4. So I know it's a lot harder in hockey to come back from a deficit like that compared to baseball, but hey, crazier things have happened to the National Hockey League for a reason, and anything can happen in the playoffs. This is from Duke Dutchy. I don't know, dude. How many more bullets do you think we can dodge? Hey, you know what? They say in dodgeball, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a dodgeball. So I mean, it all really comes down to just keep dodging the bullets and just keep fighting and keep going on for another day. It's, if you're the Hurricanes, I'll be your Huckleberry. You just got to look at it that way when you're looking at the New York Rangers going into Game 5. You just got to survive it. You just got to keep winning and surviving. That's all you can really do right now. And it's not going to be easy. The Rangers are going to come out hard for Game 5. But you know what? Just keep fighting on. Keep making the adjustments you need to do. Just keep staying dialed in. Keep getting plus 1% better every day. Take one day at a time, one game at a time, and you're not going to win the whole series in one game, but just 1-0. Just keep going 1-0 every single game, and we'll see what happens. So it's going to be very, very interesting. This one is from Judge Wapner, a game that was exactly as the previous three. This time we won the special teams in goaltending categories. This series could be 3-1 the other way. Every game between teams this talented is a coin flip. We're just along for the ride. Go Canes. No, I will say yes. The Hurricanes did win the special teams, tonight. They were able to hold off the Rangers in terms of the fact that you look at the Rangers special teams. They only had one power play opportunity in the entire game, and the Hurricanes held them to. They didn't score. So in the last two games, the Hurricanes penalty kill was 5 for 5. A great turnaround, after, giving up 4 on the first 9 in games 1 and 2. Now you turn it around and you go 5 for 5 in the last 2 games. And now tonight you finally, get the monkey off your back. You do go 1 for 2, and now you get 1 for the series. So it's going to be, it's good to see the fact that you're able to win the special teams. Goaltending, I mean, if you want to look at the goaltenders, Igor Shesterkin, 871 save percentage, 4 goals allowed and 31 with 31 shots saved. And then if you look at Frederick Anderson, 3 goals allowed, 25 shot attempts, 880. Yeah, Freddie outlasted Igor Shesterkin. Shesterkin gave up those 3 early goals in the first period and kind of shut it down until the last. So yeah, you made it work, but 3-1 the other way, possibly. It just depends on if the power play was kind of clicking in those games and stuff like that. And, if you've got the puck luck, and it's a possibility. Yeah, that's why it's, I said this on the, crossover with Locked On New York Rangers with John. It's a coin flip. Anyone can really win this series. And I said it on, with the Hockey Writers. I've said it on other shows too. Yeah, I predicted Canes in 6. Obviously, didn't work out in my favor and stuff like that. And I'll take that one. I'll wear it. Yeah, the Hurricanes are going to win in 6. Obviously they're not. But I even said too, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes 7. And obviously, this still has a chance to go 7. It's a monumental chance to go 7. But I would say 3-1 the other way, possibly. But with how great both of these teams are, and you got the second best team in the Metro against the President's Winning Trophy Rangers, yeah, you knew it was going to be a tough series regardless. So I would say yes, they did win the special teams in the goaltending categories. The Hurricanes have peppered the Rangers a lot more in terms of shots, but I would also say the Rangers also capitalize on their quality instead of their quantity. So I agree with some of this, that yes, it is a coin flip series and stuff like that, but the most part, the Rangers were able to capitalize on their things too. So you got to take with the good with the bad in the fact that, yes, the Hurricanes did the things they needed to do tonight, didn't get it done in the other 3 games, and that's why you see the Rangers where they're at right now. So a lot of credit to the Rangers for where they're at in the series, but also, like I said, got to give credit to the Hurricanes tonight, because the Hurricanes did what needed to get done. They won on special teams, they won in goaltending, and now you're seeing a Game 5 that's coming up very, very soon. And the last one is coming from Katie Bartlett. Do you think Rod Brind'amour rolls the same lineup on Monday? If not, what tweaks would help get the Canes a second W? So I'm going to kind of talk about this a little bit on this show. I'm going to go more into that on the Monday preview of Game 5 episode. I would say right now, I would not be surprised if Rod Brind'amour goes with the same lineup, but I would also maybe kind of do a little bit of a change up. I would kind of put Tara Vinen on this. I've been saying this for a while. Put Tara Vinen on the second line with Drury and Nietzsche's. Or I would even probably swap Drury with Kuznetsov and put Kuznetsov back with Martin Necas, because you saw in the regular season when those two were together, they were clicking really well. And if you want to keep Martinuk on the second line, then I would say go Martinuk, Kuznetsov, and Necas as your second, and then you look at a Kotkaniemi, Drury, Nason, and Nason and Drury have worked really together as well. So I guess if you put KK, Drury, Nason as your fourth line, I think it's a good solid fourth line. And then if you go Martinuk, Kuznetsov, and Necas, also a great second line as well if you want to roll with that, if you want to keep Teravainen with Jordan Stahl and Seth Jarvis. But I could really see them where they're kind of just keeping it with the same lineup. But I don't know. It all really just depends on what I would say you could probably see more lineups. So of course we'll probably see more of that as we go through Monday and stuff like that before Game 5 on Monday night. But that will wrap up this episode. Thank you to everyone who sent in their questions and their reactions on X, Twitter. I really do appreciate that. But that, like I said, that will wrap this episode. Thank you to the Everyday for making this your first listen. Usually it's Monday through Friday, but we had to do a really special survival episode to go over the game on Saturday night. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on X at OneTrueZach, or you can follow the podcast at @Ella_Hurricanes. If you click the link tree in my personal bio on my account, you can see where you can find all my articles, newsletters, and premium content at the Hockey Writers. Also, any of the articles that I do at the Calder Times, and also where you can listen and watch on YouTube of my other podcast, the Surgecast, and where you can listen to this show. And if you're on podcast form, make sure to leave a 5-star rating, because that'll help grow this podcast and get them more out to other people as well. And if you leave a review on your 5-star rating, I might just read it on the show. And if you're on the YouTube side of things, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss another video that drops on the show. Also, the thumbs up button, because that'll really help me out as well. Make sure to share with all other Caniacs so hopefully they become everydayers just like you as well. So that way we keep growing the show more, because we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And if we do, I might do something very special for you guys. But I hope everyone has a great Sunday. Get really excited for Game 5 on Monday night, and hopefully see, maybe the series keeps going on. But until next time, as always, let's go Canes.